A very good evening to our viewers. Thank you for joining us tonight on the agenda. My name is Toivo Njebela. Tonight on the platform, we are joined by Johannes Congo Hindjou. He's a brave warriors legend. He's a club owner of Okahandja United, also chairman of that club, and just really a very busy football man. And we brought him to studio today to help us understand the intricacies of football in Namibia, including running, club operations, life after retirement, and related topics. Thank you very much, Congo, for making time. It's really a pleasure to have you in studio. Yeah, so we really appreciate that. I mean, look, when did you retire from football?
The football, I retired 2006, 2007.
Okay. Which one was your last club?
African Stars.
African Stars.
Yes.
You played for Black Leopards in South Africa.
Yes, I went there. I was signed by Black Leopards.
Yeah.
In Africa, I did not play any official game for Black Leopards because my team here sold me to two clubs. They sold me to Black Leopards. They sent my clearance to Black Leopards.
Yeah.
And then the Misa Classic.
Oh, yeah.
They applied for my work permit. When my clearance is with Black Leopards, and my work permit was with Tembisa Classic.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow, man, that's crazy.
Yes.
So essentially, your entire club football was only played here locally.
No, yes, I played here locally, but like I said, I went to Jomo Cosmos 1996.
Yeah.
The time I went into the national team.
Yeah.
I remember starting playing for Liverpool Okahandja in 1994 from the team called Colteneros.
Yeah.
A very good team by then, where we played with the likes of Erasmus Garise, Chicken Kangorova, Katse, Top and Chapis, Marenga, just to mention a few. Most of those boys later joined Liverpool because by then every second team from Vindu wanted to come to Kanja to play us. The likes of Tigers, Jangwans, Savix, Black Africa, Orlando Pirates them. And they also wanted to sign us, but me, myself, I thought it's very important. Although when I grew up, I grew up as a Ingwe Nyama supporter. My favorite player was the late Alele Kabule, the captain, Briggs Angula. I was in and out Ingwe supporter. I really wanted to play for Ingwe, but then a very, very, very old supporter of Tigers, is also late now, Tate Bangula, also brought me to trials for Tigers. Okay. And the likes of Alele Kabule chased me away because when I grew up, I was very skinny boy.
Yeah, I know.
And the same year in 1994, in September, they saw me playing for Liverpool. Yeah, then I will make a mistake to let this boy go. Yeah, but the rest is history. Then I joined Liverpool, very committed person I am. Wherever I am, I have to be very committed. And I played for Liverpool up to 2002.
Okay.
The year that we won the league, and then they sold me to Black Leopards.
Okay.
They sent everything to South Africa. But then they also had another deal with the Misa Classic. Is why I never played. But I sold, and then Black and Savix bought me from Black Leopards. They bought my clearance from Black Leopards. Is why I come back to play for Savix.
Yeah. How was it like playing for clubs in those days? Is it out of pure passion? Were you getting paid? Those days, there's not even money. I mean, even today, there's no money in local football, but I imagine that it was probably worse in the 90s.
Yeah, definitely. You see, like we played for Liverpool, you only get something when you ask from the chairperson. When you ask from Oscar Mengo, you ask from Onyo Chiero, Jamanuka Chiero of Norica, Nyuka, those people in the management, and you get something. But at the end of the day, we really wanted to play football. We really wanted to play for the national team. And we do it out of passion, like you said, not compared to the players of the day where they get at least a salary, although it's little. But in our 90s, from 90s up to 2000s, the early 2000s was very difficult. Some of the parents did not do some quality work, maybe domestic workers, of gardeners or so. But at the end of the day, we loved the game. We started in that district of Okahandja, and then that's it is why we wanted to play for the only club in Okahandja, that is Liverpool. And when we joined Liverpool, we joined the bag of players that I mentioned from Golden Arrows.
Yeah.
All of us, when we started our few games on the bench, but later we take over Liverpool.
Yeah.
It's why Liverpool was doing so well by then.
Yeah. But if there was no money, Congo, I imagine maybe just before you retired, you must have played with the Chilufias.
Yes, the Chilufias, yes.
I mean, how can a guy from Zambia play for free in Namibia? There must have been some payment of some sort.
Now, frankly, to be frank with you, is that maybe the life in Namibia must be better than where they are coming from.
Yeah.
You see, like I said, Chilufya, for me, up to date, I never saw a very better import player like William Chilufya. Yes, he was a very deadly striker. We heard about him from Oscar Mengo, by then the owner of Liverpool, the chairperson of Liverpool, that he has a very little young boy from Zambia who's playing for Katima Wanderers.
Oh.
Yeah, they brought him from Katima Wanderers to Okahandja. And then when he came, everyone was, hey, this boy. But he convinced everyone with his feet on the field of play.
Yeah.
He was very deadly. You see, you can play him a ball wherever you want. If he gets to that ball, the next thing you see, you just see the dancing,
Yeah.
the net dancing. That was William Chilufya.
Yeah.
But definitely, they also get some money, little money from the club owners. We remember their families back home.
Yeah.
They had their special needs. And the good thing is that at least they got a clubhouse where they stayed. They got food. That's it. And a little conversation from the clubs.
Absolutely. How did you sneak into, not sneak, because sneaking would imply that you were not good enough, but how did you get into the national team?
The national team, by then, you see, I remember watching the 1996 African Nations Cup in South Africa,
Yeah.
where Bafana won against Tunisia in the final.
Yeah.
You see the atmosphere at the stadium, and then
You were there physically?
No, I was not there physically, watching it on TV.
Yeah.
Then I said, no, man, one day I want to play for my national team. It was 1996. That's the year that I break through to be called up for the national team. I think that was January, February, the Nations Cup.
Okay.
September, I made my debut, my first match for the Brave Warriors against Botswana in Gaborone. And remember, we beat them the second leg here, 6-0 in Namibia, where I scored 2 goals. It was very difficult by then because remember, the national team had very good players.
Yeah.
You had very good players in the likes of Ricardo Manetti, I mean, in my possessions now. Mohamed Osep, Lolo Golasep, Bobby Samaria, very good players. I mean, when these players put you on the bench, you don't need to work with the coach because they are very talented, very good players.
Yeah.
But then I played and I got a call up. I was just praying for my chance to come. And Upeyan was the coach who believed in every footballer that he called up, every player that he called up. And I remember Lolo was out with a knee injury when we went to Gaborone. And then every player in the game was saying, Congo, this is your chance to grab this opportunity.
Yeah.
And then we played in Gaborone 0-0 and we came back for the return leg. I think it was a Saturday evening at the Independence Stadium. We beat Botswana 2-0 and then now 6-0, I scored 2 goals. And from there, the rest is history. Then I remained in the national team until my last game.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, Burkina Faso 1998, you were in the team?
Yes, I was part of the team.
Okay. Did you play?
I started all the 3 games in Burkina Faso.
Okay.
Started against Cote d'Ivoire, started against Angola, started against South Africa.
So you guys were in that team that was hammered by McCarthy?
Yes, we were in that team that lost to McCarthy.
Yeah.
And don't forget that we started with Cote d'Ivoire. Yeah. And everyone thought that Cote d'Ivoire will whip us up with many goals. But they let us 3-0 in the first half and we came back second half 3-3 and through a mistake they scored the 4th goal.
Yeah.
In the second game where the confidence was so high, we played Angola and we let them 3-1 in the first half. They came back, they played 3-3. I think that was the biggest mistake that Namibia did to draw against Angola. And when we went against South Africa, we wanted to beat South Africa, they wanted to beat us. But yes, if you can see the Benny's goal, I think it was just mistakes done by the defense. And then they scored 4 goals. But yes, at least we made it to the Nations Cup. Yeah. We are the first crop of players from this nation to go and represent the football at the highest tournament in Africa. That's a class of 1998. Yeah. When we go down the memory lines, when you talk about your son, when you talk about your daughter, there is no way that you can talk football without mentioning that class.
Absolutely. Yes. And that's why we are proud of you. I remember very well 1998. I was just a young boy in grade 8, as a matter of fact, that time. And I'm in the village, and we didn't have TV. You just hear people, the entire school is just during break time, people are just talking about what was happening. And then you would only see the results in magazines maybe 2 weeks later, a month later. So we missed out on that. But what really caught my attention as far as that team is concerned is the number of goals that you guys were scoring. I mean, if you scored 6 in 2 against Angola, against Ivory Coast, and you look at our last participation a year ago, and the team is really good. Somehow it's really solid, but scoring goals. I mean, did football evolve, or is it the philosophy? Why are we not scoring goals as much as we do, as much as you guys did? Hammering Botswana 6-0.
Yeah, you see the generation change. The generation change in the sense that when you look at our class, at our team, you see going forward, we had most of our guys going forward was offensive players.
Yeah.
You see, let's look at the first game in Burkina Faso. I was playing with Mohamed and Ricardo in the midfield. Me and Ricardo were the offensive players. Yeah. Then we have China on the left, and then we had Robert on the right. Then we had Djibouti and Geros going forward as 2 strikers. You see, and we had players, not sitting here trying to praise myself, but we have players that can play the ball through to the strikers to put it in the back of the net. And I think, although you have the best strikers in the country, you see, you have Peter Shalulile currently, who's doing so well for Mamelodi Sundowns, who's doing so well for the country. But how does Peter Shalulile score his goals? That is a question that we need to ask ourselves now. Yes, we're having a very good coach in Colin Benjamin, was my teammate. We played together under 20, under 23, and the national team. Sometimes we have conversation about these things. But later you understand why he's using the system that he used. Because currently we don't have players that can put the ball through to Peter Shalulile in the space to score. Maybe that is the biggest question. Yeah. In our time, we had, you see, you can stand up in the morning and know that Bobby Samaria, when you're playing Liverpool against Black Africa, he will create something or 2. Lolo Gorasep, Stanley Lowe, Bwene Jacobs. Then you go to Valvesba, you go to get Sandro Dacoveya, Rasa Mupupa, Tota, Sosimate, the Honorable Councillor now in Valvesba. You go to Chief Sandos, you have the Mohamed Osip, Ricardo Vedman. That can put the ball anytime on the back of the net. But you don't find it nowadays. Yeah. You don't find it nowadays. You go, you played against a team and you're hearing there's 2 national team players in that team. Yeah. But you don't know them. You don't know them about them. And you hear this guy has been playing for the national team for 3-4 years. Now you wonder what is going on. Yeah. In our era, we did not have social media. Yes. Nowadays the people knows that we can watch the game on any link. Yeah. The media is promoting football compared to our time. Yeah. But I don't know what is the problem. The problem that I'm foreseeing is that we need to create more. Yeah. We need to take responsibility to create more, not put the responsibility on Colin Benjamin. Yeah. In our time, Restens as a coach will tell you, Congo, go in and do what you can do best. Okay. Not giving any instruction, because he knows what you can do best.
It's a good point, because I saw Gary Neville complaining last week about the Manchester derby, about how rigid the system is. Pep trying to really manage players, same as Amorim at United. The freedom is just not there. People are really confined to roles that you go there and you only do this. Because the game of football, I suppose, has become too tactical. You are instructed, stay in one area, only do this in this moment. That freedom is gone, and I think it affects the way the game is played these days.
Yeah, maybe we must look back and say, why does the coaches do that? Yeah. Maybe they do that because they said, if I don't do that, then this team of mine cannot perform. Yeah. Maybe we don't have the talent that the coaches are looking at. And you are very right. Technically, the coaches also said, no, let me control my team how they want to play. Yeah. Yeah. For me, it's good if I can control it and allowing them to control themselves. Yeah. Maybe that is the biggest problem that you are having. You look at Jose Mourinho. Jose Mourinho takes his to assemble. He will overload his midfield and try to get the ball to Drogba. He will bully that defender and put it in the back of the net. Yeah. Yes, that is a problem that I'm foreseeing now. Sometimes we want to point the fingers to the coaches. But players individually, you see, we're having a team, Okahandja United. You see, then the team is not doing well, the coach must go. Then you ask yourself, I was a footballer. Yeah. I was a coach at 11 Arrows. I'm a football administrator. You sit down and say, but if the player gets a chance to put it in the back of the net, if the player cannot put it in the back of the net, how do you blame the coach? If the player cannot pass of dribble his opponent, how do you blame that to the coach?
Exactly.
Yeah, how do you blame that to the coach?
Yeah.
You see, you need to sit down and not watch football with the spectator's eye.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you need to watch football and say, where is the problem? Yes, sometimes coaches might be the problem. And also as players have to take responsibility and say, no, sometimes we're letting the spectators, the nation, the coaches, and our teammates down by not coming out of the shell and perform accordingly.
Absolutely. I mean, it's what I say even on, you know me, I'm a United man. Yeah. And Manchester United, not Okahandja United. And on these WhatsApp groups, the fan groups that we are on, a player misses a sitter. Open mouth of a goal, he has already passed the goalkeeper, the guy just blasts the thing past over the bar or whatever. And then at the end of the 90 minutes, people say, the coach must go. I'm saying, guys, yes, the coach has a responsibility, the overall responsibility, but there are details, these killer moments that could have won us the 3 points, and you can never blame any of those on Onana does a mistake there, and then you say, oh, Amorim must go as a coach. But be that as it may, in the national team, did you guys at least then, did you make money at least? I know that even now national teams do not really pay a lot of money compared to clubs, but at least is that the one place where you were making a bit of money then as players?
Definitely.
Yeah.
You see, when we played Bafana here, remember we played Bafana here?
Yeah.
Not when we went to Burkina Faso. Remember 1997, 24 January, we played Bafana here. Yeah. 1998.
Yeah.
Before we went to Burkina Faso.
That was Kosafa or just a...
It was a Kosafa.
Yeah, I remember.
Yes.
Yeah.
In 1999, we played Bafana again here. You see, remember that was 1999.
Yeah.
Each player got 12,000 a month per match.
Wow. Yeah.
That's include now your training fee, your camping fee, and your appearance fee as a footballer going into the field.
Yeah.
Now, when you're hearing players are getting 6,000, 8,000 per match per day.
In the national team?
In the national team. Now, 20 years ago, we're getting 12,000 rand. And I remember sometimes, by then, our president was the SWAP original coordinator of Johannes.
Yeah.
No, he called us. Remember, we made Moss Country Club our home.
Yeah.
We came there. When we hear there's a national team call up, everyone, you just pack your bag in Okahandja, you know the camping will be at Country Club.
Yeah.
He called us into the room. He said, no, it's no money. There's no money. Then we said, no way. You see, we are doing a service for this nation.
Yeah.
You see, football is a career, like Toivo is having a career here. You see, if we demand a certain amount of our money, then we have to negotiate and meet us somewhere halfway.
Yeah.
And I can bet you, the little money that we get by then, 1996, 1998, from 1998 up to when we retired, 1995, 1996, 2005, 2006. I think the little money that we get was 8,000, between 8 to 12. The more money that we got to was 15,000.
Yeah.
You see, getting 15,000 coming from a smaller town like Okahandja.
Yeah.
You see, by then I was the king.
Absolutely.
Everyone wanted to associate with Congo. Yeah. Everyone wanted to follow Congo. Yeah, that was a thing. But now you find players are not paid. Yes, by then they was also saying, no, we cannot pay you now. We pay you when you have coming back from the trip. Yes, but we got our money.
Yeah.
And by then we need to applaud the president by then, who went out of his way to try to make the team happy for the team to perform.
Are you referring to the scandal of that confrontation, I think
1999.
Yeah.
This is the
what was it about?
When we went to Angola.
Yeah.
The COSAFA final.
Yeah.
When the association robbed Namibia a gold medal in the COSAFA.
Yeah.
We went to COSAFA. Before we went to COSAFA, we had a meeting and we agreed and we signed a contract that when we win the cup, everyone will get a 20,000 rand.
Yeah.
And then there was a company, it's Namcor. Not Namcor, Namcor or something. Namcor said, whatever agreed between the players and the association, we are going to top up a 5,000 rand if you win the cup. Then we say, no, this is fine. Then the association thought that no, we offer already 20,000 rand. This 5,000 must come straight to them.
Yeah. Oh.
But then we said this is coming from a private
Sponsor.
A private company that wants to aid and motivate us to win the game. Then you say it is fine. Let's do like this. Keep your 5,000. Let's continue with the agreement. No, they wanted to change the whole agreement. Yes, and then they informed the president that these players.
Is that the president of the association?
No, the president of the country.
Yeah.
The president of the country.
Okay.
By then, Dr. Semnyong.
Yeah.
They informed the founding father that no, these people wants to go on strike and not wants to take the trip to Angola.
Yeah.
But that was not our aim. Our aim was just to negotiate. And we even informed by then the president of the football, the judge, President Patrice Damasep, that no, let's go and play and come back and continue with this conversation. We went to Angola. We lost 1-0 in Angola, but had many clear chances that we were supposed to beat Angola that day. When we arrived back, we got just dismissal letters at the airport. No transport was arranged. Up to now, the association is owing us money because the money for those things we are not paid.
Wow, man.
Up to now. We did not have any transport to come back to our homes. You see, representing a country.
Yeah.
Yeah, they use their powers because they have muscles. We are just footballers who win and play. When we arrive at the airport, we find journalists at the airport. Now you dismiss for the team suspended. We just get letter. You open Johannes Congo, you are suspended from the national team. Wow. That was the case. And we needed to arrange some transport for ourselves to reach to our homes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow, that's crazy. But is that incident? Does it remind you? I mean, the one of last year, where our national team played in AFCON. Then there was this huge money that came from CAF, I think, and then there was this whole thing that no, the entire prize money must be paid out to players. And Robert Chimoshile and others within NFA are saying, look, we have to split because there are needs that need to be taken care of with this money. Did it remind? What was your attitude towards that last year's scandal?
You see, when I heard about that scandal, as you call it, I think I just wanted to find out what did the players enter into with the association.
Yeah.
If they enter into to get some of the money from the winning monies, or whatever money that they are getting from this tournament, that the players need to be given their money. Yeah, but that was my question that I had. What is the agreement? Because when we were suspended or fired, we had agreement with the association. Sign agreement that we have, that some of us also having those documents up to now. But then when we heard about that issue of our national team players, very unhappy with the situation, I wanted to understand, did they have agreement prior to the tournament? If there was agreement, then the association need to honor that agreement. If there were no agreement, or already agreement, and the players now want to add that winnings to this agreement, maybe it's selfish from the players. But if there's agreement stating whatever going to get in this tournament, they are going to be given to players, certain percentage of all the money, then the association was wrong. But if the association stick to what they agreed, then they were right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Before we go for a small break, Congo, tell me about your post-retirement life, because you're an absolute legend of the game. I've never seen you anywhere close. Maybe I missed it, but I've never seen you in the structures of the Brave Warriors. Is there any reason why you have never really been in a? Maybe I'm lying here, but have you even served in the structures of the Brave Warriors technical team?
No, I was never a member of the technical team.
Why?
The Brave Warriors. No, that question is like asking someone who's looking for work and you ask him why you're not getting the work. When I submit my CVs, when I go to the interviews, and you ask me, Congo, why are you not getting work? That question must be asked for the employer. Why are you not giving this guy work? But one thing that I can say, in 90, when we went to the chant competition in Morocco, I was the ambassador of the national team. I was taken along with the national team. By then, Barry was the Secretary General. I went in a company Ricardo Manetti, with Ronnie, to Morocco, just to motivate the boys, just to talk to the boys. That was the only role I played from my retirement with Thingy. It was only 2 weeks role that I had.
Well, why do you think that is the case? Why you remain very active in football, and we are going to talk after the break. We are going to talk about your club football involvement now. But you are a football man. You said you even coached 11 Arrows?
Yeah, no, I coach 11 Arrows.
Yeah,
anyway, you see, 11 Arrows won the league 1991.
Yeah.
In 20 years after Congo winning the cup, the MTN Cup. Is it MTN? No, CLC Cup.
Yeah.
Remember that
Yes.
brand that Telecom used?
Yeah.
CLC Cup, yes. 2011, I won for the cup.
Okay.
Yes.
So what you are saying is that your willingness to be involved if the opportunity occurred is known. But you were never just granted the opportunity to be part of the setup.
You see, football, there's nothing else in our blood.
Yeah.
You see, when you involve in football or in any other sport, rugby, cricket, netball, whatever, there's nothing that they can take out of it.
Yeah.
You will remain a football person. Like myself, I will remain a football person. You went to politics, you touch politics, you come back to football. If politics doesn't come your way, you come back to football.
Yeah.
That's the thing that you know. Everyone knows.
Yeah.
You see, if you're saying you need to ask Toivo, are you interested or not? If Toivo says no, then you know Toivo is not interested.
Yeah.
But if you're sitting with all the powers, then you're not asking the former footballers of this country.
Yeah.
You see, some of us did not only play for the national team. To play over 60-something games of the national team is not a joke. Yeah. You see, some of us are also not from football. We did not vanish. Yeah, we're involved in football. Before I went to 11 Arrows, after my retirement, I coached spoilers in Okahandja in the 2nd division. And then is where Ronnie Canalelo saw me. When we played Tura Magic, by then Tura Magic, we won the league to be promoted to the 1st division. Is where Ronnie saw me and said, no, I want to make you my assistant at 11 Arrows. And the next season I joined 11 Arrows.
Okay.
And up to now we're involved in football. We are the chairperson of Okahandja United with the technical team under Richard Karisebu, who's the head coach, also a former national team player. He's also a son of Okahandja.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. We will go for a very short break and return with the absolute legend that is Congo Hindjou. The conversation continues on the agenda with Congo Hindjou. Now, let's get into club football. You own Okahandja United. You are the chairperson of the club. It's a Premier League club. It's not a local confined team. First and foremost, how did you get involved in this club?
This club was playing the 1st division.
Yeah.
I think it's the northwest 1st division. And then they were busy winning the league. And I get involved in the last 3 games or so when I saw they are going to win the league. And then I explained to them the rules and the relegation of NFA, that because we have already Mighty Gunners as a defense first own team, if you win the league, you will not gain promotion to the Premier League. The same scenario with Namibian Correction Service. Then I explained them the rules and the regulation of the association. Then they said, no, but if we win, we can go according to some of the corporals and the generals and whatever. Then I spoke to Barry.
So it was a defense team?
It was a defense team, military school defense. You know, we have 2 bases in Okahandja, military school and then the College of Command in Okahandja. Then I called Barry Lukoro because they invited me to the base. I put him in a loudspeaker and I said, can you please explain these rules of when you're having two teams, like the situation of Medicanners in the military school playing? Then he explained to them the same thing. Sure, if you win the league because of this and this, it cannot happen. Then from there, we needed to change the management of the club. Is why we came in with some young, genuine people from Okahandja to try to help the situation. And they went and they won the league in the northern, Shakati. And I think the second team by then was Golden Bees of Grootfontein, of Ocho. Is why I took over the chairmanship of the team, and then they wrote a letter that now military school will be under the chairmanship of Johannes Congo Hindjou from now going forward.
Was it donated to you? Did you buy it? It was just a good gesture to save football? How did you sort of become the owner?
No, I became the owner because they gave the team to me.
Yeah.
And remember, when you're giving a team, the operation cost of teams will let you to become the owner of the team.
Yeah.
Because there's little people that is putting your money, that is putting their money into football.
Yeah, no,
yes,
I know.
Definitely.
I know, for example, JJD, the coast.
Yeah, JJD, Hendricks, Ranga Ikali, David Hendricks, Helen Musharnovsky, all those guys, Sidney Martin, Patrick Kauta.
Absolutely.
All of those guys, they are putting money.
Yeah. So, how much does it? So let's focus on Okahandja United for a minute. So, the team is now under your leadership. You put your own resources there. How big a duty is it to? Even from an expenditure point of view, to run a football club, you have players that need to be paid, because players are paid lately now, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely they are paid. You see, I cannot mention
of course,
the amount.
Yeah.
The amount that we give to the military school to get the team. You see, it will bring us in a lot of problems. Yes. Yeah. And the other thing is that you see, let's talk about this season. Yeah. Because we have been in the Premier League from 2018 up to now.
Okay.
Let's talk about this season.
Yeah.
You see, you talk about this season. You see, the Dep Marine sponsorship, the grant that we are getting from that sponsorship, we are getting 640,000 to Okahandja United. And that 640,000 is for 7 months. Okay. That is a period of the season here in Namibia. Yeah, round about there. But remember, that money, you only account it for 7 months. But whether you are a football person, you are a football player yourself, before you start the league, you need to prepare a team. You're getting the money for November, December, January, February, March, April, May, 7 months. But your preparation started September, August, September, October. 3 months of 2 months. Some clubs started already in July, because the problem is we don't know when the league will start in Namibia. That is the biggest sickness that we are having. Meaning that if you don't start early to prepare your team, you will just get a letter saying, no, the sponsorship will be announced, the league will start in the middle of September. Like Okahandja United, we started in September. Then we have September, October. And then these 2 months, you need to put out the money to let the team run. Training field that you are paying for the municipality in Okahandja. Camping houses, we have 2 camping houses because we have players from Angola, we have players from other towns. You need to house these people. You need to feed these people. What are you talking about? A bill for Okahandja United per month on the on the clubhouses and food. You are talking about 25,000 a month, only on those 2 things. Then you need to add the field. The field is around 5,500 per month for training. Before you do anything, before you pay a player, you need to take out that amount of money. And remember, we said September and October. Because the NFA of the Dep Marine only started giving money from October. And then it's come. You see, when you divide this money, meaning that you will get 100,000 per month. Our salary bill itself is 135,000 rand. That is only salary. You need to travel to Rundu. Rundu, you go play Coca Tops and Julinho, meaning that you need to travel Friday.
Yeah.
You sleep Friday at the guest house of a hotel. You sleep Saturday. You travel back Sunday. You need to eat. A trip to Rundu. If you maneuver around, try to save here, you cannot spend less than 35,000 rand to Rundu. That goes to KK trip and Chula Chula trip. That goes to Young Brazilian.
In Karasburg.
Yeah. We are all the trips, when you put all these things together, when you go to Rundu, you go to Oshakati, you go to Karasburg, you go to Walfes, there is no way that you can spend less than 150, 170,000 rand only on those 4 trips.
That's crazy.
And you know how much are we getting for traveling from an association?
Yeah.
Okahandja United, 43,000 rand for all those games.
From NFA?
From an NFA. Because this 640 that I told you about, that money includes the traveling allowance. And when you're getting the ratios of per kilo.
Oh.
You see from Okahandja, how far is it, what is the NAMTA rate to Chivarongo? You're getting paid according to that. And when you paid all our travels and calculate all our travels, it's 43,000 that we're getting from association. And we spend close to 170,000 only on those. Then we did not include Windhoek.
Yeah, yeah.
We did not include Windhoek. We did not include Kobapes. We did not include Chivarongo.
Yeah. Wow, man. And and the revenues of the club, apart from those that you mentioned, okay, you have gate takings.
Gate takings,
and what else?
You see, we have gate takings. You see, when we play Chula Chula now, because now African Star also came because there was no stadium in Windhoek. You see, the previous season, Chula Chula game, we made money. We make 70,000 at the gate. But this season, because we divided with African Stars, we made only 25,000 each. That's the only club that can bring you good money. Yeah. And the other club is African Stars. That you can say, no, I can count my 20s, my 25. Yeah, yeah. The other clubs, you count your 8, your 7, your 8. Yes, sometimes you count your 4. When you put all these people, this money together, you say you are counting 100. Now, like this season, you are counting maybe 80, maybe a 90.
Yeah, yeah. Wow, man, that's crazy. So
and then they come boots. You need to buy 2 pairs, 2, 3 pairs of boot per player.
Yeah.
And the boots is what? 1.3 and 1.5, 1.6, 1.7. We have 30 players.
Yeah.
You need to buy 90 boots 3 times a season.
That's a lot of players.
That's a lot of money. Sometimes you need to. Sometimes you steal money from your wife, not knowing. She thinks no, the investment is still there. Yeah. But you are praying for your wife not to ask that investment because the team need to travel to Karasburg. And when you talk about the money, no, everyone is starting going to the course. Yeah. No, we need 20,000 to go. No, everyone is on the call. That's a situation where we are finding ourselves. Yeah. But Okahandja is blessed because we're having a guy called Manes Hendricks, the owner of Richmond Logistics. He's assisting us so much. He's having a guest house where he said, no, sometimes we came there for free. Sometimes he gives us money to travel. Having a guy is having, is in retail, Peter Ndove. He's having that is also assisting. You're having a guy like Lucas Yambo is also in logistics, in transport. These guys are assisting. And then you go to the council. The council is also assisting because sometimes they say, okay, train for free after explaining for them the situation. Yeah. That is the situation. Then you're having some companies that is indeed assisting, like Colas. You know, the Colas that is doing the bitumen that is doing roads. It's also assisting the engine in Okahandja, you know that engine next to the mall. Yeah. And then also another company here in Windhoek, Nutriford, under dirt. It's also assisting, and we really appreciate. We really, because remember what Okahandja United does to Okahandja. Remember, it's a small town. Recreations facilities are not there. Yeah. You see, when Okahandja United is playing against Chula Chula in Okahandja, you know the span of the local economy that day. The memes that is selling there, the service station, the petrol that they are giving to the cars, not giving but selling to the cars, the supermarkets, all those things is span of the local economy that this team is bringing to the town. Because remember, we're having 15 home games and 15 away games. When we are playing at home, all these 15 games, everyone, from a meme that is selling to a supermarket to the service station, is benefiting from this game because we're having influx from people from other towns.
Yeah, but as a club owner, Because, I mean, this is also business. I mean,
Yes,
football globally is a huge enterprise, but do you make any savings for yourself to send your children to school with something at least from...
No, there's nothing saving. The only thing that you do, you just pop in, you're not getting out. Yeah, sometimes you come to Toivo, you borrow money with the hope that you end up well. When that payment is done, you bring money, you pay back Toivo. Yes, but you must also not be blind. You can also not be blind and say, no, I will go with all of my money into this thing. No, you cannot do that. Your wife will run away, your kids will call you other names. Your neighbors will say, no, we told you about these things. Because I grew up into football. I saw people losing a lot on football. Definitely, although I want to get away from football, I cannot get away. Because that's the thing that I really want to help. And also, when we pay these kids, we are not only paying them. Because remember, these kids have girlfriends, these players. They're having mothers, they're having fathers, they're having cousins that is not employed. When they get paid their 3,000, their 4,000, everyone at that day will be happy because he will come up with maybe with a combo. He will come up with meat. Everyone will be happy, will be eating, will give some $100, $200 to the kids to go buy whatever they can buy. That is a chain. You see, when we give salary, it's not about Toivo, because you have a queue. You have a queue that have to benefit from this.
Absolutely. And your wage bill, how does it look like? Not now the individual, how much you pay each individual, but monthly, you're looking at how much?
You see, Okahandja wage bill is between 160 to 180 per month.
Wow, man. That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
Do you sometimes sit and stare in your ceilings and say, what am I doing in football even? I mean, I'm not getting any money, and every time I have to think creatively to provide this money. Do you ever reach a point where sometimes you just say, nah, man, I might just give up, or the passion is just burning, you just want to continue?
You see the Chieros, the Mengos, the Shalnovskis, the Dwesep, they did this one. You see, I cannot be that selfish. And it's football that made me who I am today. It's that football that you know me on my name. Okay, I cannot be that selfish and say, yes, you are very right, I'm a human being. You see, when you lay down there on your chauffeur and was in the ceiling and say, no, I need to quit, but you cannot. Because some other person also did this for you. You need to continue and say, no, why can I not help? But then, very good. Creative thinking also helped me to keep me younger. But we need to continue, we need to march on. Because we cannot, when we stop, how many kids of Okahandja were standing to the streets? How many kids, if Okahandja United got relegated, how many people of Okahandja will be hurt? The first is the players from Okahandja that will know where must we go now. Is why I'm telling always the players that is born and bred and from Okahandja, you have to take this course very seriously. Because when we got relegated, Toivo will go back where he's coming from and maybe go play for another team. But where will you go? With 29, 30, 31, where will you go? But when you say for Okahandja United, maybe after your retirement, you can be part of the technical team.
Absolutely. We have a new government, and it's speaking big about sport, investment into infrastructure. I saw there's a small amount of, I think, 15 million. I'm calling it small because you just say it's money for sport leagues. I don't know what that means, broadly speaking. But do you, as a sport person, what is it that you would like to see happen so that there's a bit of sustainability within football?
Definitely, we need to say we are very pleased with the budget because it's the first time that sport is getting so much money. You see, we are talking about 1.3 billion that is only given to sport. Normally, sport is getting around 300 million per annual. But now getting 1.3 billion, that's a positive news that's come from the excellency in the administration. What we want to see is to professionalize football, to professionalize sports. You see, I'm always saying, and I keep saying, when you take 5 codes, sport, rugby, netball, boxing, cricket, or whatever, you invest money as a government into sport codes, you professionalize the sport. Why do you professionalize the sport? It's job creation. Remember, there is already a grant that is coming from the sponsor to these clubs. But if you add, then every player will walk away with a 6,000-7,000 every month. That is job creation. And you have a program for certain years to see if these professionalism will change the lives of these athletes. It's all what I want to see. I want to see infrastructure. Infrastructure, yes, in Windhoek. Infrastructure, like they are saying, very good in all the constituencies, very good. We want to see a better stadium. You see, Okahandja is nearby Windhoek. Now you invite Toivo to a match. You cannot treat Toivo in a VIP area because we don't have.
Yeah, yeah.
Toivo is invited, but he need to stand against the fence for the whole 90 minutes. We want to see a better stadiums in these towns for us to host our guests.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, that's what we say. But he's talking about that. It's why we are saying the ministry itself need to see how they were coming to implement this. But I'm very positive. I'm very positive that something good will come out of this. We are waiting for the national team to come back home, like the Honorable Dino said that on the show. Yes, we hope that they are going to renovate Sam Nujoma Stadium. Yeah. But because I don't think to renovate the rugby stadium the right way, right move to do. Because we need to go to the Sam Nujoma Stadium because this is a football stadium. Yeah. We cannot invest football money into the rugby stadium. Remember, the first thing that you need to question is the grass itself. Yeah. You see, the rugby grass is required to be a certain height. The football grass needs to be a certain height. Now, when you invest into the rugby stadium, well, you cut that grass to the certain height of the football because when that grass is not right, and if Peter Chalule doesn't perform, he will tell you the grass is too heavy. Yeah. Well, you blame Peter Chalule. Okay, I think they need to rethink about that and said, let's go to Sam Nujoma and invest in Sam Nujoma because Sam Nujoma is a sport, is a football stadium, and make it right for our national team to come back here. Maybe category 2, category 3, even the brave graduates of even the under 17 or under 20, just to start playing at home. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes, of even African stars. Because remember, African stars have been playing 3-4 years outside at the Champions League. Where can they play? Why can they not play at home? Yeah. Yeah. That is the only thing that I ask Comrade Dino, you know, what is the criteria that we need to meet at the same Nujoma for us to start playing at the Nujoma? If this criteria is so huge, maybe then we can focus at the rugby stadium. But first, I think the first call must go to the Sam Nujoma Stadium because it's a football stadium.
That is the immediate need.
Yeah, that's a mark of football.
Yeah.
It's a mark of football.
Absolutely. Yes. As we close this conversation, Congo, so for Okahandja United in particular, what do you want? What is your end goal here? What do you want to achieve with this team?
We want to remain in the league. We want to remain in the league because remember, this is when Okahandja United plays. Maybe I must invite you one day. Yeah. You see the happiness of the people on the faces. Yeah, yeah. Because like I said, we don't have a swimming pool in Okahandja. Yeah. We don't have recreation for the young people in Okahandja.
Didn't you have those things in Okahandja before? The town has deteriorated, or it never had those things?
No, we had those things. We had the swimming pool. But remember, the swimming pool that we had, it was before independence. It was near the holy graves of the Maharero chiefs. And I was one of them also when I was a mayor that, no, we cannot bring that swimming pool back there because we need to respect our ancestors. And then we take a resolution that we invited for people to come with interest in putting up a swimming pool for the residents. And I think the current council is busy doing that. Maybe in the next year or so we might have a swimming pool. But currently, we don't have a lot of recreation in town. And Okahandja United brings that. You see, when you bring people for 2-3 hours at the stadium, it's a great recreation. Remember, people are sitting with a lot of problems. When you go and hear that noise for 90 minutes, at least you can release some problems. Yeah. Okahandja United, I want to have 2-3 national team players. Yeah. In Okahandja United, we want to see if we can sell 1 or 2 players to South Africa or to Europe. Currently, we sold 2 to Botswana, that is playing in Botswana. But we want to do better. We want to go to South Africa, we want to go to Europe for us to get good money so that we can sustain ourselves.
Absolutely. Thank you, Congo, for coming through. I think it was a very necessary conversation because, I'm a football guy. I love football, but I've never gotten to understand, even closely, how you guys do it. Because I look at these clubs, I'm saying, whose bus is this that is taking players? Is it the club bus? Is it hired? How are players maintained? You have a guy from Katima playing in your team now. He has to relocate. He only relocated to Okahandja strictly for football. He has no family there. I mean, how do you keep up? But now I have a better understanding, and I think you guys are sacrificing a lot of. It's a huge sacrifice, and we appreciate what you do.
It's a much. You see, it's why I'm always saying the chairperson of the clubs in the Premier League in the First Division, I will always respect them.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we don't give flowers to the people while they are alive.
Yeah.
I'm giving them today my flowers to them.
Yeah.
Their flowers to themselves. You know what they are doing. You see, we, like you said, you will never understand because you are not in this boat.
Yeah.
You will never understand because people will say, no, Congo, they are getting money from football. We're not getting anything from football. The way we are getting 100,000 from the league for these 7 months monthly, and your bill is 170, 160. How do you get money? Where is this other money coming from?
Yeah.
Where is this other money coming from? You see, and the bad thing is, you see, you're getting 100,000, and then you need to travel that weekend to Katima Molilo.
Yeah.
You have a bill already of 160, and this, and not Katima to Rundu, and then you need to run around to get the 35,000 to travel to it. Yeah. But I think the corporate is not negative on football. I'm always telling the people, Brave Warriors never had a sponsorship.
Yeah.
They talk to me, no, Brave Warrior. Then I said, no, that was donation.
Yeah.
Because you cannot give someone a 5 million per year. 5 million is 2 trips, then it's done. It cannot be called sponsorship.
Yeah.
They are struggling to get sponsorship. How will the clubs get sponsorship? Yeah. Look at Valves Bay, that fishing sector that is there. Look at the mining sector. You see, you go to Botswana. Your name Galaxy. Your name is a town. The community in that area is diamond. They are putting money. They putting money into that club. You go to Botswana. They have coal. Moralpule Warriors, Wanderers. The mine is putting money into that club. But you're not hearing anything from Husab Mine, from Rosing, from B2 Gold, from Navaja. They are not putting money into sports. Maybe they are putting in secretly, but openly. You as a journalist, you're supposed to pick these things up, and no, they are not doing it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, thank you, brother.
Thank you to have me here.
Sure. That is Congo Hindjou. He's again an absolute legend of the Brave Warriors. He's now involved actively in club football, telling us just what a heavy duty it is to run operations of football, and also reflecting on the positives that football brings to communities. Thank you for watching.